Released in spring 2010, Angel Beats was an original anime TV series created by PA Works. The series would span 13 episodes and quickly became not only one of the most popular animes of the decade, but of all time, placing it at 11th on Mal's popularity list. After watching it for the first time just recently, I will examine the show still holds up 10 years after its initial release. The story follows Yuzuru Otonashi, a teenage boy who awakens at school without any knowledge of how he got there. He suffers with amnesia, causing him to only remember his name. Yuzuru soon learns that he has in fact died and is in the afterlife where death is impossible. Information given to him by a girl named Yuri, the leader of a battalion against God. Unable to comprehend this information, he soon realizes it to be the truth when he wakes up unscathed after the student body president, known as Angel, stabs him in the heart. After initially declining, Yuzuru later joins Yuri's battalion. He begins to partake in their operations meant to defeat both God and his representative in this world, Angel, allowing him to, in essence, beat death in this world and take over. After a bit of a slow start in the first couple of episodes, the show really starts getting gear by the third. As the story progresses, you will see the main cast flesh out as the motives become more clear. The backstories revealed for the members of the SSS are brutal, demonstrating their anger towards God and why they choose to oppose him in this afterlife. The show will hit you with many emotional gut checks that'll make you go, damn, while trying to hold back tears. One of the most effective bits in storytelling would be the use of flashbacks. During these, you see back into a student's past to help explain their current views and motives at the school. While Yuri's backstory may feel a bit over the top, overall it's effective in generating sympathy from the viewer for different characters and establishing clear goals for them to work towards. Despite all the emotional moments, there's also a fair bit of comedy that can be hit or miss. While there definitely are funny moments, the constant use of running gags in each episode wears them out in some cases, making you wish they would have been repeated less often in certain instances. The world of Angel Beats is a high school, acting as a purgatory for teenagers who felt unsatisfied with their previous lives. The world is made up of NPCs who try to reach satisfaction with their high school lives so they can be reincarnated and members of the SSS. People unable to get over the traumatics of their past lives and looking to take claim of this world out of revenge for their past. The goal should be to escape this world, however the battalion being blinded by the past causes them to stay with little joy to be had. As mentioned earlier, it is impossible for students to die in the afterlife. This can cause lack of tension in certain instances when you know nothing bad will happen to these characters if something ends up going wrong. This is most prevalent when the battalion is first seen exploring the guilds, as you don't care what happens to these characters because you know they will be fine. However, when played off in a comedic way, it is more effective. Although no one can die in the afterlife, they can be obliterated. By going to class and having a fun school life, students will be able to overcome the anger over their past lives, allowing them to leave this world and be reincarnated. Going to class is only one way this can happen, as later episodes show members of SSS can also be obliterated by achieving what they want to do in the real world. Obliteration helps shows the character's progression from one still holding on to their lost past into someone who is able to accept their previous struggles and move on. One of the strongest aspects in the show would be the music. From the opening to the ending, you'll enjoy every second of it. Background music helps add to a scene rather than sound generic and forgettable. It does well bring up the correct emotional response from the viewer when needed. The songs performed by the band Girls Dead Monster or Girl Demo also match the high quality whenever performed in an episode. The art and animation is also top notch. The character designs help each member of the SSS not only stand out from each other but from the other NPCs in the school. Backgrounds also feel detailed and fit nicely with the characters without either feeling out of place. The animation is also top notch, with it being clear lots of effort went to the girl demo performances and the action scenes. Next is the characters, which is one of the most conflicting aspects in the show. On one hand, you have the main group of characters like Yuzuru, Kaneda, Yuri, Hideki, and later on Aoto, who are all compelling characters. The show does a good job fleshing out each of their goals and shows development through the different conflicts and friendships that arise as the story progresses. The viewer watches characters like Yuzuru find meaning in his previous life to help those suffering in the afterlife, and Kaneda turn from a major threat to a strong ally in future conflicts. On the other hand, the series handles its side characters so poorly to the point of frustration. There are interesting characters on the surface, such as TK, who only speaks broken English and whose real name is unknown, and Sheena, a sinister badass who rarely talks but has an affection for toy dogs. You want to delve into the past and learn more about what influenced them to act this way in the afterlife, but it rarely happens. Most of the side characters in the SSS feel really one-dimensional, with there usually only being a single gag tied to each character. What makes this extra frustrating is when they do choose to flesh out a side character, such as Masami and Yui, they tend to be the best episodes the series has to offer. The series would have definitely benefited with a longer length, around 24 to 26 episodes instead of the 13 given. It would have allowed for more of the SSS members to be fleshed out and become more interesting characters, while also allowing for longer arcs than the standard 1 or 2 episode conflicts. The current runtime still works to tell the story, but more episodes would have led to more world building and stronger overall cast of characters. The ending is mostly strong with a few divots. The shadows feel like the SSS biggest threat so far, and Yuri's journey is given a good conclusion. However, the final villain choice fails to leave an impact and feels more like a disappointment. The side characters also feel like they have little to do, with the main support group all leaving off screen. The final episode acts as a bittersweet send-off that will help those invested in the story holding back tears with what unfolds during the final moments. While being dragged down by a weak supporting cast, a mixed bag of comedy, and a short runtime, Angel Beats is more than able to make up for it with a strong main cast, a compelling narrative, emotional moments that will hit you like a semi-truck, all complemented by a great soundtrack and high-quality animation. Overall, I would strongly recommend Angel Beats to anyone even a decade after its initial release. At least give it 3 episodes before deciding to drop it if you're not interested with what's happening.